This is GigaBoots podcast number 41. I'm your host, Daniel Mitchell. With me is
Bob.
And
also Daniel Mitchell, but on the low end.
keeping it real.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to talk about video games this time. Bob, what have you been playing in the last week?
I actually got that new Azure Striker Gunvolt game on 3DS.
I think that was more than a week ago.
That was.
And Destiny has made your sense of time.
This sounds like me being a
dilate.
dick, but was there an old Azure Striker Gunvolt game?
No.
Okay.
There was
so
not.
so
The
my
game
not
is
having
new.
heard of this is not okay.
Yes.
Right, this is-
It's a new
Just
game.
making sure, because it
Not
sounded
new,
like enough of
one
a
them.
word jumble to be one of those like, no, this is like number 15 of the reboot series.
Right.
I love when you learn a foreign language and you're like, do you know they have sentences that can mean several different things? What a shitty language. And then you say something like that and don't notice it's the exact same scenario. So how was Azure Striker Gunvolt?
It's okay. It could definitely be better.
It was a downloadable 3DS game. How much?
$15.
15.
Came with what was it called? Gunvolt, Mighty Gunvolt.
Mighty Gunvolt, which is Mighty Number 9, Golden Gunvolt, and Galgun crossover.
It's still weird to me that like other people have heard of Galgun. Like it's not just some random thing we
that
found.
happened to us. Yeah. That's
Apparently,
the
it's made
scary thing about the internet.
by the same people that are doing Mighty Number 9 and
Did Azure Striker Gunvolt and Mega Man 9 and Mega Man 10 and Mega Man 0. All of these are developed by the same company. Galgun's a classy thing,
yes.
Clearly.
clearly. So I presume you do not go around in first-person perspective hunting down cuties in Azure Striker
No,
Gunvolt?
that is not the main goal.
Okay,
Hey,
what is
that
the-
was self-defense. Those cuties were all up on our jock.
Oh, I did not realize.
They were trying to express their feelings, and we were having none of that.
I didn't Nihongo des nearly as much back then, so I did not know what was happening. I just saw the visuals.
You thought we were stalking a high school, killing girls?
Yeah, how weird.
Wow.
That was pretty similar to what we were doing.
So what is this larger structure of Azure Striker Gunvolt? Because I still haven't played
It
it.
is actually set up like a classic Mega Man game. You have 8 robot bosses to fight. Well, they're not robots. They're guys with psychic powers that turn them into robots.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Done. Taken at face value.
So as they open a rift in space and a giant mechanical worm flies out of one rift into another, you're just like, psychic.
Yep.
That's all you got
the,
to go.
the Japanese have a very interesting idea of what psychic means.
Yes, and I love it.
It is amazing.
Psychic is a word like awesome.
Right.
Also of metal's basic properties. But,
Yeah.
so, okay. Is this game
So-
called Azure or Asura?
Azure.
Okay.
Azure.
Right.
Yeah, I did that entire video on the cloud for Xbox One, and then somebody goes, you're saying that wrong, right? And I'm like, I know that just like Jaguar, I have been saying it like that my whole life. It is going to be a bitch to stop now. So,
But yeah, it's actually the main mechanic behind it is you like shoot the character or shoot the enemies to target them. You have different kinds of shots to do that, and then you hit the R button to shoot your electrical powers at them. It makes like this big sphere of energy around you and shoots a little lightning bolt to the enemies you've hit.
Interesting.
cool.
I think that like one of the main missteps it does is that huge sphere of energy takes up most of the screen and is very distracting. Like it's really easy to lose projectiles coming at you in it.
Yeah.
It could definitely
Stand to be on a larger screen. Like,
he's honestly I would just reduce the size of the effect. Like you
Yeah.
don't need it to be that big. It doesn't need to be this dark and obfuscating.
obfuscating.
Sorry.
Nah, that's cool. But okay, I could see that. But wouldn't that reduce how radical this game is, and thus change the game itself?
Not really. You're still shooting a lightning bolt straight from your hand.
Yeah, but there's a difference between like Robin from Fire Emblem in the new Smash Bros. Shooting a lightning bolt and frying the entire screen with cool, awesome.
I guess, but mechanically sound is more important, I would say.
Clearly, the development team disagrees, but your opinion
You sound
is
like a guy who
appreciated.
doesn't play casters.
Or Gungrave.
More mechanical solidity, more lightning.
But yeah, I actually beat it, and it gave me a terrible ending, and I'm not sure exactly how to unlock the good ending.
Well, sometime you should
Believe in the lightning.
Put in the effort to just Google it and
Yeah,
look that
just
up.
look it
I'm
up
curious what would be necessary to get the good ending. We've been playing a lot of Destiny, so I guess you've been playing Destiny.
Yes, God,
we
too much
did-
Destiny.
We did the raid attempt in the last week.
We did.
We did that after D&D on a Saturday, and then we also did the Queen's Wrath, which I guess we can talk about the Vault of Glass and our experience with that real quick. What do you think the average level of one of our teammates was? Because I remember I was 26.
I was 24.
Yeah,
And
okay.
I'm pretty sure
think
I was the lowest.
Anton and Brett were somewhere around there, and so was Workana. So 24 to 26 range
Right.
on most of this. I don't think Steve was 27 yet.
No, I think
but he
Steve
might
was
have been.
already 27.
Okay. So we go in. It's got these nice multiple different patterns. It's completely original content outside of the entrance, which is a reused environment, but the way you do the encounter is completely unlike anything else in the game. There are 3 places you need to stand at the very entrance, and there are circles that have you come across this in the normal story mode, the glowing white light circles where you have to stand in it to activate something. So all 3 have to be held for a certain amount of time to erect the entrance to the actual raid.
Oh, yes.
And it keeps spawning insanely huge badass robots to blow you all to shit.
That's the area where, when they launched the raid, just everyone kept showing up to pour bullets in to get people in, right? The public area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear it's a public area. We kept
Yeah,
having...
there are so many people you're bringing in that the publicness of the area seems to be one extra guy.
Yeah, because we just kept seeing him off in the distance, and that was unfortunate. But yeah, that was I feel like a lot of the internet's opinion of Destiny would go up. Like, they would probably think more highly of it if there were more raids, if they were there at launch. Like, at least 3. Because that raid was excellent material. Like, it is hard to make an argument against this game when you've come into contact with that raid.
I wish that they had objectives this unique throughout the game.
Yeah.
Instead of
the usual show up, hold square, fight off waves, or fight a boss type enemy, which are like those 2 things sort of are the entire game, if I'm not mistaken. It's show up, hold square, fight off waves, and fight a big boss type enemy. But this does a lot to make that radically more interesting. We actually wiped. We got to the third. Yeah, we got to the third part of it, and we just decided most of the group was undergeared.
I believe that was the end of it, because that was clearly a huge boss fight.
I have reason to believe there's one more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to us trying again probably this weekend or something. I haven't figured out everyone's schedules yet. But we also tried the Queen's Wrath, which is a week-long event, which went up, what is it, Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. And that was interesting. The bounty person just opens up 5 more bounties for her, and then there's the Queen Shop.
Yeah, the emissary, which I was so happy to see that door open, because you open the map and it's like special events, and I'm like, maybe that's the end of the Vanguard Hall. There's no one. It's upstairs. There's a marker for something upstairs that I can't get to.
I was honestly just upset when they opened that, because it didn't have the thing that was there when they opened it during the beta. There was like a shop that was there in the beta.
If you go in and turn to left immediately, there's a place that's obviously a shop that's set up. No one's standing there. See, I saw that. I didn't remember or pay attention to the guy in the beta, so I don't know which guy he's talking about.
What was the guy in the beta selling?
I don't even remember,
because
it was
at
all
that
level
point,
20 gear.
Yeah, most of the shops are just way outstripping the level you could get in the beta, so it's hard to store that properly, because you've broadly generalized everything as level 20 gear. But yeah, the emissary, her shop sells, or actually, yeah, it's a her.
Yeah. Looking like a Tenho from Warframe.
Yes. Exactly, actually. But she sells the cosmetic items for the classes, so that way you can get rank up just by doing stuff, I believe. Or and she also sells a little bit of equipment. You were saying some of those stats actually were improved over what you had?
Well, yeah, because I'm level 24, so.
Okay. I was gonna say, about how far out are you from being able to buy it?
The sweet ass purples. I don't even think I'm rank 1. I've only done a couple of missions.
It's really hard to rank up.
Draxus, and I got some bad advice from one of our clan members. It was me, Steve, and Brett.
I wonder where the bad advice came from.
I'm gonna guess Steve.
Well, we're like, so we do a couple of the bounties, and the Queen's Wrath thing on the left unlocks, where it'll send you to an epic version of a story mission.
At level 24.
Brett tells us, hey, yeah, that'll either send you to Rixus or Draxus. He was wrong.
Yeah, no.
You know where we went? Epic version Black Garden.
Uh-huh.
That's where the fuck we went.
Nice. Actually, the playlist, the randomly selecting in this game is really, really bad. Like in the Crucible, you'll end up at the same map 3 times in a row. It's that level. When we played that, did we hit any more than 3 maps?
No,
I think we just kept hitting the same 3.
We hit the Venus, getting the Gatekeeper's eye.
Killing the Gate Lord, yeah.
Get the Gate Lord's eye. Then we also did...
Something on Mars. What did you guys do on Mars?
We did some... It was kind of an early mission on Mars, I think. Mm-hmm. I can't remember what. It was like going to kill... Man, I don't think...
dude.
Yeah, you go unlock some marker on Mars, and then you're attacked by all these random dudes.
Oh, yeah, that thing.
One thing we found out in Black Garden this time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if... it only worked for a while, so I don't know if it's a foolproof thing. But Brett stood on top of one of the dormant statues while we were fighting. Mm-hmm. And the then animated statue didn't seem to see him. He would not aim up at him.
That makes sense.
And it didn't happen for very long, but long enough to go, oh my god, I think that's working.
That's cool. What class are you playing as again?
Warlock.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But you haven't done Sunsinger yet?
No, I just kicked over to Sunsinger to start leveling it.
Now, the interesting thing is, and we found this out in our Let's Play, if you hit level 15, both of the other characters can now just go straight to their second subquest.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
That's pretty...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's still just weird.
It's a little weird.
It's weird,
but hey, I get straight to Blade Dancer, so...
Yeah.
Right.
Fucker.
Honestly, they should have just let us choose a subclass whenever.
Or just not had Blade Dancer.
That would have been the smart decision, yes.
Fucking hate Hunters so goddamn much.
Whatever. Those freaking Sunsingers.
Just come
they
back to
can take
life.
a missile straight to the head, and they just survive it.
See, all I'm hearing is wham wham.
No,
See,
they
here's
die
the thing.
and they come back to life.
No, he had still a bit
I kill Sunsingers all goddamn day. Your rocket launcher sucks.
Well, here's the thing. A Blade Dancer does that, and is flying around killing everything, because Blade Dancer also has improved defense.
He does.
He says improved defense. What he means is bullets just don't apply to Hunters for a while. Seriously.
That is one way of phrasing
If there's
that.
nothing in your shotgun reticle but Hunter face, and his shield doesn't even tick down when you shoot him, that's bullshit.
I've killed hunters in that mode.
I killed... No, you
Yes.
haven't.
By yourself.
Uh-huh.
That is a lie.
Yes.
Now you're lying.
With these magical rockets that don't kill warlocks.
He just stared at me as I unloaded 3 sniper rifle bullets into his head. Was that it? Is that exactly what happened?
No, it was an auto rifle.
This
he was
gear
a
the
bit
Queen's
farther
handing
away.
out.
Oh, okay. What?
This gear the Queen's handing out, because they're
It's
talking
all
about...
garbage, but
Well, they're talking about, like, this is a limited event, and I don't know how, like, if they'll do this again, how often, or if it's just this one time, because it is ostentatiously covered in that Queen symbol.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hideous. So it may just be for months down the road, like, oh, this guy's got the Queen's gear, he was here for the Queen event.
Yeah. Which, man, is a generous... See, you beat one of the bounties, and then you can go do that mission. Every time you beat that mission, you get a guaranteed purple, which outside of this Queen's event is not a thing in this game.
Yeah, just purples rain from the sky.
Except for maybe the raid.
I gotta say, it's really frustrating that there was absolutely no new levels for this. It's just straight up, oh, it's
Like,
just a
no
harder
new
version.
content?
Yeah, no new actual content. Just, oh, here's some armor you can get.
I feel like since, by my point, like, I don't know how many times you've played over the same content. I've probably played every mission in the game, except for, weirdly, one of the strikes on Mars, at least 5 times.
Well, yeah, that strike on Mars just they wouldn't intend us to during the strike playlist, because the strike playlist became Fogas for 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Fogoth.
Whatever.
No, like everyone calls him Fogath. God damn it. Fogoth.
Foguff.
He is my break from fucking that Archon priest. Arxis?
Yeah,
Arxis?
Raxus. Well, no,
no,
Draxus is the...
Draxus is the Kel.
Yeah.
Raxus is the devil something. It's something
Yeah,
the Archon Priest.
yeah,
the one from the
yeah.
prison. That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Maybe the Vanguard playlist should just like have an order to it.
Probably.
Is that too insane for these people?
I mean, that would work. Literally, that would work. You just have these slots because, of course, this has matchmaking. So people on the internet could be on a different schedule from you. At some point, you will eventually hit the far end of that circle and at least get to play anything new. Because, as he just said, we kept doing faux goth. You happy?
Mm-hmm.
He looks so happy. I wish we were filming this. We did faux goth so many times. It was...
Also, those like heroic strike missions and stuff that show up on the left side when you're on the selection menu, those for no reason just don't have matchmaking.
Yeah, that's a little weird. The strike playlists do, but the heroic versions of like dailies or weeklies don't. I didn't realize. I
booted into one of them the other day, just like, oh, I need to do this before it's done, and Dan's not here, so I'll go do this real quick.
By myself, apparently?
Yeah, it just sets me down to the plan. I'm like, there's no way I can beat this alone. That's crazy.
Yeah, about 50-50 of those I can beat. Sometimes I'm like, I can't beat this fight alone.
What was it? Yeah, that's actually why our friend Tim didn't buy the game at all. He saw how much it wanted you to team up with people, and that's not the sort of experience he wants, apparently.
Right.
Me, I've been fine, but I'm the head of the GigaBoots clan, so of course... Every time I sign on, I get to see at least 2 or 3 other members. Usually it's been an issue of too many people are joining my fire team. But in any case, what else have you been playing this week, Bob?
I also played a lot of Muramasa. The newest DLC came out like only a week after the last DLC. So I finished the new one. I went back and actually did more in the last one that came out. The latest one, which is the final one. You play as like this little... demon girl. She's like the daughter of Enma. And yeah, she's got 3 different forms. She's actually really similar to the first DLC character, the cat demon, because she's got one form where she's like a little kid and she can combo a whole lot. Then she's got adult form where she's able to do heavier strikes, but has much lower move variety. And then she can do demon form, which is just her turning into this ridiculously muscular thing and punching really fast, saying "What's that?"
So, when is Dragon's Crown Plus coming out for the PS4?
That would be so amazing. I gotta say, you could just add these characters to Dragon Crown, and I'd buy that.
You would. I don't know. I just, if they added 3 more characters to Dragon's Crown, I'd buy it again. Especially if it was PS4, get the nice 1080p going on.
And then have it actually run right when the wizard does his thing.
Yeah.
Pussies. This is coming from a guy who's never played a caster, obviously, Bob. Do I want my game to run smoothly? Or more lightning?
For me, it was more lightning, and Bob was not pleased.
Bob, you need to get your priorities right. You need to get your heart right with God.
Yeah, Bob.
Oh, no.
God.
Well, Thor.
Gad.
Lightning God.
Have you played anything else?
Oh, I feel like I have, but I can't think of it right now.
Okay, well, then we'll move on to Aggro. Hey, Aggro.
Hey, Dan.
What all have you been playing? What is the huge cornucopia of games you've been playing over the last week?
Well, one of the guys in my fire team said he was going to go play that new Gauntlet on Steam. That was the closest I got to playing something that wasn't Destiny.
Was that Eric?
No, it was Steve.
Oh, weird.
Huh. I really am interested in that new Gauntlet. I want to know if it's actually any good.
Steve tried to invite me to play it on Steam, and that was confusing. I was like, do I just get to join him? What the hell, Steam? Because it acted like it would
Yes,
work.
it's like funds withdrawn from your wallet. What?
God damn it.
I keep waiting for Steam to just like suddenly pull off the mask and like
Vacuum sound.
like you log into Steam. Please pay Steam $10. Okay.
Wow.
You gotta wonder how much money they'd get.
When you make your marketplace a free-to-play game, the world has gone completely corrupt.
No, in free-to-play games, you get things for your money. I'm talking about a dialogue box that says, please pay Steam $10.
Look, they're asking for donation. It's not required. It's just recommended.
They didn't sell you anything, so, it's just a donation. So you've been playing nothing but Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
How's your Destiny experience?
I've been having a lot of fun playing Destiny. Because apparently, like the SAT, I am the person Destiny was specifically designed for. And all you fucking minorities are all, bah, know this, or bah.
You realize if you're the guy, then you're the minority.
Yeah, but, white people have always been the minority.
In a worldwide context?
Yeah, in a worldwide context.
Yeah.
Remember the world, that thing we conquered inside of like 2 generations? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
That was fucking weird. How did that happen?
Right?
Like, no one was greeting people at the door of Walmart.
I think it had something to do with the Mongolians introducing gunpowder to the Russians by shooting cannonballs at them.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that was...
It's a good way to introduce people to things.
That was fucked up.
But Destiny.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of fun playing Destiny, just going, what the fuck does it mean? What is this? The guy said this thing. What is lore?
Well, you see, it probably can be exchanged for Glimmer in town. Whatever it is, that's probably the case.
Like ether seeds.
It's fucking like who are the 9 and all this shit, and the theories that like we're the bad guys and all of the other alien races are races that the Traveler has wronged, and it's using us as its undead army to like defend itself, or that it's straight up dead and the Speaker is fucking with us.
Yep.
Yeah, be interesting if they actually put any of that in the game.
I have faith that they will.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. This is a setup.
How?
I mean,
Like
there's
through free content patches?
I have no idea how it's
DLC?
going to happen.
I mean, since they've been open about a sequel, I still trend towards thinking sequel. Yeah. I don't know. I have to wonder how far out the Destiny 2 is. Which is weird. I've heard none of the conversation online about the fact that there could be a Destiny 2.
weird.
Like, none of it. Zero. IGN, Giant Bomb. Everywhere I've been listening to talk about this game, not a single person has mentioned that Activision has been very open. Oh, no. We're not supporting this one game for 10 years. We misspoke. It is a game plan, much like our other franchises. And I'm like, that's completely opposite of what impression you gave us. And yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many expansion passes they're going to try and sell for this one game, because an expansion pass you'd think would be more than 2 content packs. I don't know. That's
$35 for... Well, see, that depends on how much is in each content
also
pack.
they're really close to each other. It's just December and then another in early 2015.
Yeah, so
it's
I
like-
think they said, like, March would be the latest that it comes out by.
Right.
So
that clearly doesn't even cover you for a whole year. Whereas
Yeah.
Call of Duty does cover you for a whole year.
yeah, it has the season pass, which costs more. Like,
right,
that's
it's $50. It
So
is definitely more.
This is kind of the equivalent of, like, if they had a third one out there, somewhere in the, say, May time period, and then it came out then. Because, I mean, you got to think about that.
I mean, at that point, then it would literally be twice the cost of a call.
No,
it'd be
it's-
$80 instead of $50 for a whole year of content.
No. Like, okay, Call of Duty doesn't come out with a new map pack 12 months from when it came out. It comes out with one 9 months, 6 months, 3 months. It's all that early part.
It's
where,
4 though. It's 4 map packs total.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
Okay, but either
'Cause
way,
there's
we're doing
one that-
apples to oranges with the value of the content. We have to see what that pack is before we can say, as a matter of fact, that's a bum deal.
This is true. They could just knock it out of the park and be a whole bunch of stuff, but how would you even access it?
Based on the game's
Because I like
current, yeah.
I played hours of PvP, like competitive. I saw like 3 maps. Literally, there were days I had not seen Exodus Blue. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Now, the amazing thing is the sad thing is I've dumped over 30 hours into the Crucible, and I've seen all the maps, so every time I hear people be like, oh, this is a new place, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
right?
Like I got to blind watch for the first time yesterday. I'm like, oh, what's this? Steve's like, what do you mean, what's this?
I love the Crucible announcer, Shax. I love his laugh. It's so bad, it's good.
I can't get his voice. Like, I'll stand there and go visit him, and he's this fucking white-ass cyborg Viking.
And he sounds like this. He's like, hello, Guardian. The Crucible is no place for giving up. Ha
You hear it and
ha.
you're like, no. And you turn around and you see the fucking frame he's got, his personal battle droid that is dressed like him. And
That
you're
is
like,
yeah.
okay, no, that guy's got it. And you turn around at him again, he's like, what's up, Guardian? And he's like,
The operation went successfully. I'm a man.
Crucible is no place for mercy. Fuck you, Shax, I'm trying.
Yeah, the quotes that he reads off to me always seem like a little weird. It's like, you're on the verge of losing, like a statement that basically means that, but we're winning by a landslide. I'm like, Shax, you are drinking too deeply.
It always freaks me out is whenever they talk about light, because it's like way past how Catholics talk about the light of God. They're like, your light is stronger than this, Guardian, show them.
Whip out your light.
Bro, what the fuck is light to you people?
Well, it's your penis.
I mean, we're clearly dealing with like fucking pre-medieval Germanic sort of Gnostic dualism, like light and darkness. It's all very basic, which is the point, translated into super sci-fi. But
Yes.
I don't know if it's potent and interesting or jarring and weird. Like we need to dig deeper to get to where that sits.
I feel like we would probably know if like as we were talking about earlier, like all that lore stuff that would be great if it were presented in game up front and center.
Right.
I'm just not looking forward to Destiny 3 where we have to kill the Traveler.
I kind of am.
I don't know. It's just like,
Because like we
Now
have
that
to
we've
like
killed-
climb up inside him and like the walls come to life and robot
as,
arms start.
as a level, it could be good based on how the levels treat themselves in this. It wouldn't be nearly as cool. Like, because when I think about going in the Traveler, I think about that weird planet from Halo 4 that was constantly transforming itself. And that was really neat conceptually, at least. The environments in Destiny are 100% static. So they wouldn't do cool transforming things, and that would make me sad because the Traveler could be amazing inside. He could be like Wonka's factory, but for the light, quotation marks here.
God, one thing from the tutorial, Steve pointed it out to me. You remember those trip mines? Mm-hmm. And how they just never show up again?
Yeah.
Now, it seemed like that tutorial was made for a very different vision of this game.
A lot of this game is like that, actually. Many people who've seen it early on are like, this is nothing like the game they showed us.
You remember that part in the strike where you get to a set of pikes and there are 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always
Every
cool.
time, that's really funny.
I'd sit there and I think maybe they've had some problems with beta with premature rocket launches. Like, fallen! Sorry, guys. My bad.
Yeah, this game is the most interesting game from a what happened perspective anytime recently.
Yeah, it's fascinating all around, and its production seems to parallel its actual content. Just weird, and they don't tell you much, and you're not sure if this is supposed to be what it is.
Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah. So you haven't been playing anything else?
No.
But I have been.
Yeah.
I've been playing things that Bob forgot to list himself.
Yeah.
No.
Like Smash Bros?
Like the Smash demo.
Smash them.
I have problems.
Oh, that's the other thing I was
The
supposed to
Mighty
talk
Number
about.
9 beta.
That and the Zelda Hyrule Warriors. It's a few days before the full game comes out.
You can get back. Bob will be back with his Hyrule Warriors minute in just a moment. So they put out a second level for the Mighty Number 9 beta.
It's called Mighty Number 10.
Yeah, it's weird. No, it isn't.
Okay.
So the thing about the level select, which we show off in both of our quick plays, is that it's horizontal. Like, it's not Mega Man style, multiple directions to select it. And there are events that happen in these levels that very clearly need a prior level bit beaten. Like, Mighty Number 1's helping you go through Mighty Number 2's level. This may be the first linear Mega Man I'm not counting network transmission for the GameCube because that wasn't. Damn, fuck that.
Because no one counts network
That
transmission.
was so fucking hard, unreasonably. But whatever. In any case, so that's weird.
Yeah.
Also, I'm coming more to the conclusion this won't run on my PC.
Yeah.
It just won't. It has memory leak issues right now. So it already starts not running well. But by the time I get past beating a level twice or something, it is completely eating itself alive. Like, we're talking classic Windows repeating sound effect, like 2 milliseconds of a sound effect cascadingly while not animating any past this one frame. So it just stops on a frame and it goes, yeah.
Nice.
It's that level of eating itself alive in my machine.
Old school in every respect.
It does a better job on the wrong kind of old school. Like, if we're going to do
Old
that,
school PC gaming.
it should have CGA
Please
graphics.
change your floppy disk. Oh, God.
Actually, if you think about it, like, to be honest, old school PC gaming didn't really have that issue. It's this middle old school, like, of 90s, like, late 90s. Because back in, like, DOS CGA days, you never really had that because all you were doing at that moment was playing the game.
Right.
You have effectively
You
transformed
loaded
the
it up
PC.
Right.
And it's this whole Windows and multitasking thing that...
Right.
Windows 3.1. This is a lot worse than DOS. I'm
This
sorry.
is something I started yelling at my PC ever since Windows Millennium. Just do the fucking thing I told you to do, but I'm also... No! Not also! Fuck you! Do what I told you to do! Priority 1!
You sound like you'd make a great manager. Well, listen here, you little shit. But yeah, the wizards at Concept have come up with what is formulaically, mathematically the worst level ever. It is half sewer level, half ice level.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Which just makes me laugh every time.
Please tell me it's the way into the Water Shadow Temple.
I don't know. I don't know what the next level is. It could very well be a trap.
God, I love the Shadow Temple.
I actually, Ocarina of Time Shadow's Temple, I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think I missed that part of the game, because I haven't beaten Ocarina of Time.
Right.
I just watched my brother play through it. Most of the temples I've seen, but I can't think of anything for that one.
Well, it's just like, all the other temples are conceivably
wait.
temples. They're buildings.
Okay, what's the Shadow Temple?
The Shadow Temple is Purple Rock and Nightmare. It's just all these pitch black portals, some of which are doors, and there's undead all over the place, and there's skulls fucking
Is that
wrought
behind
iron and
the
everywhere.
graveyard.
Is that where you fight Bongo Bongo?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And just like suddenly there's this floating fucking beer with a goddamn skull for a foremast, and just, the whole thing is this random nightmare just sunk in the middle of Hyrule.
I feel like a lot of N64 Zelda is that, like Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Majora's Mask was this weird little nightmare sunk in the middle of my childhood.
I wish there was more sadness in Wind Waker. Like, I like that element of, like, what was it? What's the name of the Game Boy one? Link's Awakening. There we go. I was like, Link's Adventure? No. But Link's Awakening is kind of this sad existential story where, like, if he plays the Ballad of the Windfish and wakes it up, everyone stops existing. And he wakes up alone in the sea on a raft. And, like, I like that. I like that sad undertone. And there were all sorts of tiny little stories in there that were sad. I don't remember any of that for Wind Waker.
Wind Waker was pure whimsy, basically.
Yeah, which is,
Well,
you know...
it was a great
I kinda
contrast
like
because you had all this
that,
pure. Yeah, it was really fun. It was the whole world was wiped clean. It was the return of innocence. But then in the middle of that, off to the side, was
Is Ganon
Ganon.
Dad?
And he's just so fucking angry.
I know. That's why I love him in that game.
I guess
Him and the Drowned Hyrule are like the only parts of that game that really stick
You can
with
see
me.
the pattern of it because like you're from the small fishing village of the largest contiguous landmass on the planet.
Yep.
Ganon's just over there like, that son of a bitch, everything works out for him.
But yeah, he. I guess that's pretty sad. All of Hyrule has been completely drowned. That's entire.
But who's there to mourn for?
Right. In a larger
True.
context, it would be sad, but all of the sadness is gone. All of the old is washed away.
Yeah, I mean, the only person left to be sad for is kind of the king, and
He's a boat.
he's a boat. So he's kinda
living
like-
it up.
He is. Aw, shit. But yeah, that's why, like, man, it's so hard to, like, articulate my history with Zelda, because then they came out with Twilight Princess, and I'm like, now that's trying to be too sad. Like, it's so weird how I'm like,
Yeah, they tried super hard to make it like
as close to the rated M Zelda
Twilight-y,
that most people want.
Very what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not brooding, just sort of
Oh, yeah.
almost like an Ennui.
Yeah. I feel like Twilight Princess, and I want your input on this, is the closest they thought they could get to that rated M Zelda that people traditionally want, because quite a few people grew up and they were like, Zelda didn't get rated M when I turned 18. What a piece of shit. And I know too many people with this opinion.
Which, coming up in the 90s with all like the gritty versions and then the weird 90s reboots, yeah, an M Zelda game could have been an atrocious fucking war crime, or it could have been fascinatingly beautiful.
You think?
Yeah.
I try to keep thinking about it, and I mean, potentially you can do anything amazing within any context, like
Right.
fucking The Last of Us.
Yeah.
It's a fucking zombie
See,
game.
if you're gonna make
Right.
the rated M Zelda game, I think that has to come from, you're gonna have to give Link a bit of a character.
See, that's actually what I was going to say, but then I felt that was detracting from the discussion of the rated M Zelda. I'm like, the problem with those people and with Zelda and their attachment to it is that there literally isn't a different character each time. They look at it and it is the same in their eyes that it was in their childhood, and they want it to grow up and change and be different, and quite frankly, be tailored to them. In a lot of their eyes, it is a rated M God of War type thing.
I don't know. I think it'd be more Last of Us than God of War.
I mean, it ideally, but I'm just
Yeah.
telling you what a lot of these people I've talked to.
If the fucking crowd got what they wanted, yeah, we'd be back to the side of the atrocious war crime.
Yeah,
Right.
But if
it would be DMC, but Zelda.
it would. Yeah,
Straight up.
and they would be okay with that.
Yeah, they would love it.
God, now I kind of do really want.
A rated M Zelda.
Yeah, where it's like, because as we were just talking about Ganon and Wind Waker, that's what I want Link to be in that.
I'm like,
I just want this whole
He's
fucking
just always
cyclical
wearing the-
process to just start wearing on him.
see, we do the same sort of Ocarina of Time setup. You know, there's a small village you come from, and it's full of elves and shit. And then when you leave there, there's the whole kingdom and everything. But it's all very much under the thumb of Ganon in this version. Like, it is all very, very horrific
Right.
and tyrannical. Like, that is
What
like
happens to Link after Zelda games?
which one? Let's talk about
Yeah,
them
the-
individually.
I
I mean, because it just, you never know. Like, Twilight Princess is the oldest Link, right?
Like, you mean the farthest back in the timeline?
No,
or
the
the
oldest.
oldest?
I think Skyward Sword might be older
He might be, but
based on appearance.
I don't know. That Skyward Sword, he's just becoming an adult and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like
during
the
that.
story always ends in late adolescence at the latest. Mm-hmm. So it's just, I don't know what he does after these games. Like, he settles down and lives, and just like there's all this dead air time of these incarnations of Link that we don't know about.
Which,
and
you know-
I don't know if the hero spirit is still in him.
Well, I mean, like, Majora's Mask is set after Ocarina of Time, so he's still got the hero's spirit,
He's-
the Triforce, and
Right.
all that
Tumbling
then.
into a terror dimension.
So I wonder if it's not like in Buddhist and Hindu tradition reincarnation, where it's his whole soul. If there is just the hero spirit that keep going in, Avatar style,
Yeah.
and just its entire existence is this constant cycle of nightmarish childhoods,
I mean, the thing,
Like, if he remembers each one,
or it's
Well,
just
the-
emotionally scarred by
the
them.
thing, the essence going through him does,
Yeah.
at very least. So it fuels him to be brutal and kill a giant spider in a
He's
tree.
got all he's got is courage.
Yeah.
No power, no wisdom.
Speaking of which, when you were talking about does he just settle down, does he just get comfortable, and I'm like, that is the last thing the Triforce of Courage would compel a human
Right?
being
Right.
to
So
do.
the guy's got to be fucking psycho.
They're like, there's peace, and he's like, what?
Because like every time there is like a continuation, and then Link goes off in search of new adventure.
Like, what does he
Right.
do now? He climbs tall mountains. Oh wait, Death Mountain was already climbed multiple times throughout shit. Fuck. That poor man.
So you get Ganon, he's got a fucking second wind. He's fucking, he showed, it's like Groundhog's Day. Sometimes it's just wasted cycles. Sometimes you wake up early and fucking learn to play the piano. Ganon's eating his Wheaties, and he has just wrecked this whole kingdom. And he's like, I'm gonna be fucking ready for this son of a bitch. Maybe I can void this cycle and just be a king for a while.
Man,
You'd have to wonder if he's kind of like Dracula and just like,
angry.
yeah, just he's over it. He doesn't. He's
I
tired
mean,
of reincarnating.
By the time he hits Wind Waker, he is nothing but fury.
So you got to think he's trying to break this cycle. Maybe he holds off the investment of the Triforce and the heroic spirit in Link somehow till he's a bit older, and then he's gone through adolescence. He's an adult now. He's got a whole life, and then it hits him. This drive to defeat evil that is powered by this terror and this constant need to move.
Would it make him even more cruel if that hit him in the middle of like the pubescent stage, like adolescence, where you already have the adrenaline constantly coursing through you?
No, because he got over that. He's an adult. He's got a fucking wife and kid.
So he's
but
learned
neither
to
of those
control
are
it.
Zelda, so he cannot care about them anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So the person we pity the most in Zelda is Ganon. It shows up just about every time. So this serves as a good transition. How is Hyrule Warriors?
I feel
Is it everything we just described and more?
the demo was.
Is that what the scarf represents?
But maybe the full game. But yeah, the demo actually doesn't give you any story context. You just dropped into a stage and you go wreck people.
Right.
And it's pretty great. Like it's if anyone's played One Piece Warriors, it actually feels a lot like that. Instead of having a jump button, you have a dodge button, and it makes the combat a lot snappier because you have that.
It's good. No Zelda game should have a jump button without a rock feather.
Yep, I wholly agree with that. Speaking of which, more Zelda games should have a rock feather.
True.
But yeah, each character actually has like their own little special quirk to them. Like Link, you can hold the heavy attack button, he'll charge up his sword, like you do, and you can do that list like standing from from natural position, or if you can combo into it, like say you do light attack, heavy attack, and then you can hold the sword button again, or the heavy attack button again, and he'll charge it up after that and do a different kind of sword spin. So it's actually
Nice.
has a good bit of variety for him. Zelda's got this thing where she can build up these little light energy spheres. Mm-hmm. Like you have to have your attack button without hitting any attacks before, and she'll build those up, and she can spend them
Manageable resources, yeah.
in her combos to do even better versions of the final heavy attack.
Was
Cool.
Sheik in the demo?
No, she was not in the demo.
I remember seeing in a video. I want you to confirm or deny. She plays like the songs from Zelda. Like she did in Ocarina of Time teaches Link, but she uses it as an attack.
Right.
So she plays the Bordello of Fire. Yeah. I was like, man, I don't care. And then she just did that mid combo, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Like, dun, 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 fuck you.
Just a wave of fire. It's so good.
Oh, God, what does Nocturne of Shadow do?
You don't want to know. You don't. So,
Ugh, Shadow
when's that game coming out?
Coming out Friday, so
what's that?
about
2 days.
Yeah, so
one day from when this podcast goes up.
So then next podcast, I could talk about the real thing.
The real thing.
And all that fucking scarf.
Yeah,
And handsome Ganon.
So maybe we should stream that
Maybe.
this Friday when we get it. Do you have the day off?
no, but
don't have
I do get off somewhat early, like 4
5?
or something.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a long time to wait. Eric should just buy it. He certainly wants it enough, but okay.
Real leadership info was in the demo. That her stuff just looks so insane. Also, something we didn't put in the news roundup, but I read about was all the DLC coming to Hyrule Warriors.
Okay, what's the deal with that?
They've announced a free one where you get to play as all the villains.
Uh-huh.
And then they also announced Twilight Princess, Majora's Mask, and a Wind Waker, I think? Maybe not. Maybe a Skyward Sword.
I would love Wind Waker Link in that game. Just fucking Raimundo.
But yeah, they announced the download packs for those, and not what's going to be in them or anything. I think the 3,000 yen for all of them.
So this is continuing Nintendo's presence in the DLC sort of act, because like prior to this year they didn't really do that,
right?
But then they had Mario Kart, Mario Golf, and now this, and as we'll cover in our news section, apparently Smash,
right?
So we'll get into that in just a moment after this short break, because I would talk about what I've been playing, but god damn it, it's Destiny. So things from Fight Club that play into current thoughts. In Destiny, there's a really badass dude who's just hanging out in a cave, a nook, on the Cosmodrome.
Yeah.
And he's such a high level, you can't see his level. It's question marks. So we went back and revisited him now at level 20 plus, 24 or whatever. And the guy's only a level 14.
Yeah.
So we blow him to shit. And I go, oh my god, that felt great. Let's find more dads to beat up.
Damn. I remember the guy you're talking about, because he was question mark when I went through the first time.
Yep.
And we just ganged up on his ass.
So the terminology made instant sense to Bob. Like
Right.
and then we say it in front of Eric. Eric's like, what? I'm like, see, they're dads. You think they're really tough for the longest time. But then one day you just go back and you're like, I can beat the shit out of that guy.
Joseph Campbell's like, yes, my children.
And segueing very abruptly into the news roundup, Smash 4 apparently has incoming DLC, according to a text dump of the ROM file from the DS one. So text dumps, for those who aren't familiar, it takes every single line of text in the game and just compiles it in a somewhat decipherable arrangement.
Right.
Like it's it's relatively easy, as far as I know, to just scrape the whole fucking thing for all the text in it. And what they found were various phrases that very clearly painted downloadable levels, an absolute bare minimum. And in fact, there is a missing square on the level select screen, suggesting that once you download a level DLC, it'll patch the game and then you'll be able to select it from that list. One of the things also in this text dump was talking about include downloaded content in random select, like for levels. So at very least, we sort of confirmed that. There were plenty of names of things and characters that aren't in the game. So there's some vague assertions like maybe they'll be playable characters at some point.
Right, but then
stuff like that.
There's so much just written in Smash Bros. About other things, and so much that gets cut from that.
Exactly. So
that's inconclusive.
This pretty clearly, at least for levels, shows that there's going to be some DLC. I'm just going to read my notes here. Shut up and don't ruin this for me, you goddamn cretins. That is to say, people on the internet raging about the idea of DLC in Smash 4 can go fuck themselves. This is all I have ever wanted from video games. DLC was fucking invented for this one thing, for me. Do not ruin it. What are your thoughts on this, Aggro?
Officially. No, yeah, DLC is like a great thing for Smash.
I think so.
I fucking want that shit.
I want Ridley, so yeah. I don't even. When the whole Ridley thing started, when it started, I didn't care. I was like, Ridley, that's stupid. Why did they add that? And then as people kept making gifts that were funnier and funnier, I was like, yeah, put Ridley in here.
Like, I saw that one comic where, fucking Ridley shows up and Samus is just looking pissed. They're like, no, come on, man. We've all met our villains and we hang out. And it's like Mario and Bowser playing tennis. And, sometimes you learn that a villain could just be a friend in disguise. Samus is like, he killed my parents. One time I did that.
I don't land on the same side of the fence as Bob on the Ridley issue. But I do want him to be in some sort of playable story mode or whatever as a boss thing.
They did tease him as a boss for a Wii U version, and that'll be cool.
That would be great.
I would like Smash to have more boss characters, like giant fucking boss characters.
Yeah. Subspace Emissary had a few. Problem is, you had to play Subspace Emissary in order to get to it.
Yeah, now they have like Yellow Devil.
That was awesome.
It plays like shit.
Oh.
Like, it's... I don't like it one bit. I like the adventure mode from Melee. That's really good. It's kind of stripped back a little bit, less platforming. Subspace Emissary has so much vertical jumping and things like that that aren't necessarily fun in Smash. And the levels, it's not even that... It's that the levels are really, really long and don't do terribly interesting things. I kind of wish they were shorter, which is something the adventure mode in Melee did a really good job of.
Right.
I need to buy another
but
copy
compare
of
Subspace Emissary to the side-scrolling bits from Tekken games.
Watch this. I want you to look in my eyes as I say this. That isn't real.
Hey, every fandom gets one.
Didn't happen.
None of those times. It continues to not happen.
But yeah, I'm really interested in what they could do as extending. I don't know about stages. I hear that the new 3DS one doesn't have as many stages as Brawl, so it'd be cool to have it up to that amount of stages. Like if they do a reasonably priced pack like the Mario Kart stuff and just give us a ton of them.
I mean,
that'd be
Mario
great.
Kart is such a good fucking deal. I don't even have the game. I don't even have the Wii U. But hearing the deal they did for the DLC, I'm like, I need both of those. Did you hear anything about that? It was an absurd amount of tracks, like 24.
Damn.
For a price less than the game. So you got what was basically the full game's content again in the game, as long as you bought like a season pass or whatever it was.
I think it was only like $12.
Yeah.
It was like stupid.
Damn.
Yeah. That made that game the best Mario Kart. One quick switch did that. How did they do it? Like, fuck. Now you're telling me that they might do that to Smash,
right?
And I'm willing to punch anyone who's a naysayer in the mouth.
And you know, above all this, for me personally, why I love DLC for Smash is every time they announce like a new character downloadable for Smash that isn't Geno,
yeah,
I'll open my window a crack and listen for the cries of despair.
Yeah, I honestly, knowing Nintendo, that they might just front load this with Geno just to be like, why DLC? Geno.
Jesus. I don't know. See, it's 50-50. Like, Nintendo does awesome stuff, or Nintendo is evil Zaibatsu. On the other hand, they're like, yeah, first DLC includes this character, these maps, and a Geno trophy. Fuck you.
God, I just realized how much I don't want Rayman in the game. They showed off his trophy. Because for some reason they put a Rayman trophy in.
Right.
Because it's made by... Wait, no, the Ubisoft is...
Yeah, Ubisoft is Rayman.
Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, no, Rayman... I don't know, like,
I wouldn't mind Rayman, but he just opens the door to those fucking rabbits.
He does.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with me. Like, I think Rayman Rayman, much like Abe from Abe's Odyssey, are both very strong early video game designs. Like, I think they stand on their own. Problem is, like, that neither of those games deserve to be in Smash.
Right. I'm like, Rayman is another one of those, like, Gex and other just off-brand.
I think you're underselling Rayman.
I guess,
at that point.
a little bit.
You really are.
He has good new games, but his old games are awful.
Okay, so here's the thing. You ready?
What's up?
I think you're slightly underselling Rayman and really overselling Gex.
Depends on the Gex.
Because we've had some conversations about Gex, and I think that's probably what you suffer from. But hey, you know, we have that Retro Boots series. If we get a copy of Gex in here, we can play it and reassess what the deal is there.
Did we ever figure out how to record off the PSP?
We can record off of anything other than the Vita, and soon that'll change
Vita
almost. There's not a single PlayStation mobile game whitelisted for PlayStation TV, which kind of sucks.
Damn. But, what was I going to say? Fucking, oh yeah, I've got that 3D Gexes on the PSP. I accidentally thought that was the 2D one.
Yeah.
I still have never played a 2D Gex.
They're
There's
the good
only
ones.
one. It's the original invention. In fact, Gex was supposed to be the, like, sort of mascot for the 3DO, if I remember correctly, because it's EA owned, and the 3DO was an EA initiative.
Really, there won't be moral balance to the universe until Vector Man is in a Smash Brothers.
I'm gonna look you directly in the eyes, and I want you to look into mine to show you how truthy this statement is.
Truthy.
Are you ready, Aggro?
Yeah.
Vector Man isn't real.
Fuck you.
We all saw your drawings of this supposed Vector Man.
I have linked Vector Man and the Balls 3D fighting game together in my head. It's like that old Robin Hood Friar Tuck virus. You can't kill one, the other one will just recopy it.
Well, see, okay, that's an okay association to make because, you know, they're both shit and run on garbage. I'm just kidding. I actually kind of like that Balls fighter, you know, in that sort of way that you liked Super NES fighters back then. Like it turns out,
and how it ran so much better on the Genesis.
Yeah, it just turns out like all of those were terrible. There's not a single
like Killer
good...
Instinct. Going back to that, like what were we thinking?
I think this is a controversial opinion. I think Killer Instinct is a better feeling game now than Street Fighter 2.
Huh?
Because Street Fighter 2 is slow, is very plotting. I mean, admittedly, they made the turbos.
Right.
But yeah, I think Killer Instinct, you know, super 90s as fuck, like, game right there. And it feels pretty good, like, personally. Like, you got to put any amount of effort into understanding the combo system, but at least it has a neat one. I don't know. Like, I can't think of any other fighter, and I played plenty of fighters on the fucking SNES.
Yeah, there were a shit ton of them.
What was that one called? There was one was with... Oh, man. I work at Retroware. How do I fucking not memorize this shit? It was like dinosaurs and shit fighting each other.
Primal Fury?
Fury. There we go. I was like, Primal Rage? Wait, no, that's something else. But yeah, Primal Fury, I believe, is correct. Or Primal Rage.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, in any case, yeah.
Fatal Fury and then Eternal Champions and...
Yeah, I still feel like for fighters to feel good, you had to get into the almost 2000s period. Like, Street Fighter Alpha 3 feels worlds better than Street Fighter 2 did. I'm sure Alpha 1 and 2 probably also do.
So late 90s King of Fighters are still really good. Like,
yeah.
98 is so fun.
98 and 99 is really where I draw the line of, like, this is a good playable game. Like,
Right.
I played 94 once, and I'm like, this doesn't even feel like it's doing what I'm putting it into the buttons.
I maintain that for a period of several weeks, I and my brother
were Vector Man.
were able to master, play, and completely unironically enjoy Shaq Fu. Now, to put this into context, I picked it up in recent years, and I couldn't fucking play that game. I couldn't figure out how I had done it. I think I had superpowers as a child and have since lost them with my innocence.
Do you think maybe it's like a kryptonite thing of like maybe something near you is causing those powers to go away?
Is it you son of a bitch? Because I loved Shaq Fu.
I would say if you loved Shaq Fu, this is a very different story. It's a story of finding a cure.
But see, it might be linked to something else because everyone talks about how hard as shit Battletoads is, right?
Yeah.
Me and my brother did not have a problem with that game. And I'm terrified to pick it up now because it's probably going to push my shit in.
I just want to
because
think
old Shaq Fu me is gone.
I just want to think that you're like talking about the Genesis one. Are you?
I did play it on the Genesis.
Okay. That is a different game.
Yeah?
In as much as the difficulty could be, you know, on a different place on the slider.
Yeah, the NES one is the one known for being insane.
Okay, I didn't know there was a difference. That makes more sense. If the Genesis one was easier...
If I'm correct, because I didn't play the Genesis one, I just know what I know from YouTube videos and Retroware community, the Genesis one is supposed to be a remake, but it, you know, the controls different or whatever. So they may have tweaked the difficulty. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. We should check that out.
That may be the case.
Somebody has a copy of Battletoads on the Genesis. Moving on to the next story. Titan is canceled. Blizzard's next-gen MMO.
Yeah, didn't that happen a while ago? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No.
It wasn't officially canceled. It was just everyone knew
canceled.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
that thing got woodshedded like 3 fucking times.
it's just like, it was 7 years of development. They already said that they had to go back to the basics and rethink how they did everything, but they can use some of the same assets. And somehow people are still devastated by it getting canceled. It's like, are you stupid?
Oh man, Duke Nukem's not coming out. That's tragic.
Yes, exactly. Besides,
See,
it's
what
not
happened
even...
over at Blizzard is they saw Black Desert and like, okay, just cancel it. Just don't even think. Just cancel.
Fucking, have you seen, okay, so Blizzard has canceled a lot of games. Mm-hmm. Turns out Nihilist Software was working on StarCraft Ghosts. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the same people who made Resistance on the Vita.
Ugh.
And the weirdly terrible games that preceded that. What was it? The PlayStation Move? Oh man, what was the name of that game?
PlayStation
Sony
Heroes.
PlayStation Heroes.
Oh
on
god,
the move.
Heroes on the Move, yeah. Oh god. That atrocious piece of fuckery.
We are adding that to our
like a
Last
knife
Gen
made
was
of
terrible. Wait, that's the name of our series. Last Gen was terrible, and we just talk about the worst things. Like every episode is a different game from Last Gen. That has to be one of them.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah. Did you know, for example, they were making and got pretty much done with a point-and-click adventure in Warcraft called Warcraft Adventures, and it is a fully voiced, high-quality animated point-and-click adventure where you got your dude on the screen. And you click in places to tell him to go do stuff like the later King's Quest games. Mm-hmm. And it's a fucking orc. And his voice actor is so good. It's just like, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Because you tell him to like eat and then you click toilet. Because he has like 3 things. Look, grab, and eat.
That's an orc.
Yeah. Right? That's just... That's the orc core right there, exposed as an interface.
Man, I'd much rather play that than
Loktar, eat meat.
what is that card game they put out?
Hearthstone?
Hearthstone, yeah.
Honestly, I
like integrate it into Hearthstone.
I want to play that. I don't.
I think you'd have to integrate Hearthstone into the...
No.
No?
No.
No, it's in a box in the corner. You play it when you're bored because you're waiting for the turn.
The other guy's taking his turn, taking forever.
I've never played Hearthstone. I'm terrified that I will spend money on it. A lot. I should probably never play Hearthstone. At least until, somehow we have some bitch and Patreon pulling in $3K a month. And I'm like, I could spend $50 a month on Hearthstone. And cocaine. There we go. Tiny little piece of cocaine. Just
Fucking cocaine.
fucking... Aggro says as though he's trying to shake his addiction.
I have this strong association between cocaine and state legislature.
Oh.
Because I worked in food service and I've had family members who work in childcare, and it's just all of the decisions made at the state level, it's like the 80s never stopped.
Yeah.
It is a non-stop fucking cocaine party up there.
Yeah.
Recently in the state of Florida, they removed whole milk and 2% milk from certain levels of WIC checks. You can get the skim or the 1%,
But
that costs the same,
Yep.
but not the 2.
Well, yeah,
because reasons.
Because it has more fat, and that's not good for babies.
I know he's kidding, but I kind of want to rip his throat out with my thumbs right now.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm stating their opinion.
I know.
Yeah. Isn't that horseshit?
Fuckers.
It's like, how do you... I love every piece of legislation that gets passed in regards to food, because the only one that ever made sense was trans fats, and we didn't actually have any large legislation on that one. The rest of this shit is speculation.
The fun thing about trans fats
Yeah.
is, the group that lobbied for the recent legislation of trans fats are the same ones that are the reason we all were fucking using them.
Yeah.
The Center for Science and the Public Interest.
Yeah.
Hate those people.
Yeah. I mean, but see, that's the amazing part here. It's just like, they created it because they thought it was good. And then they rid it because they realized it was bad. It was like, but now you're ridding all these things you aren't positive are bad. Has it occurred to you that, I don't know, nutritionism, if you look deep into nutritional science, it is fucking random. You just cannot fully understand the human body and how it deals with food, so why are you passing legislation to tell people what they can and can't eat?
fucking every time I have to stock a yogurt, it's like, no high fructose corn syrup. We're fucking heroes, you bastards. 10 years ago it was sugar-free. Yay, it's healthier. No, you cock-ass. It's still goddamn sugar. You metabolize it the same way. It's not different. It's not the reason your kid's fat. And it's not a secret plan by the Nazis still living in Brazil to make us all fat so we're ripe for invasion. These are the same people. This is a sliding line.
Yeah. Now, here's the amazing thing, right? The only thing I've seen to show evidence of, like, why you would go with sugar over high fructose corn syrup, sugar is sweeter per calorie. Like, if you look at it that way. So theoretically, putting less sugar in something is better than a company putting more high fructose corn syrup, which is
for them. High fructose corn syrup's cheap as shit. But
but yeah.
So Titan, yeah, whatever.
So Titan, yeah. Who gives a fuck?
Titan was pronounced dead as it rotted on the table for years.
Titan is dead 4 years ago.
I am a good doctor. Thanks, Obamacare.
GigaBoots, political gaming podcast.
So yeah, Titan. When's the next time Blizzard's gonna make a
game?
A game
that isn't
a full
Hearthstone
game
level.
Yeah, like instead of just obvious.
Okay.
Tiny
Shillery.
game.
Because I know you guys played older Blizzard games. Whenever they fucking feel like it.
See,
I don't think that they will.
No,
I mean
and they may not.
You could see this all as a transition from the point in 2002 when they kind of like right after they made Warcraft 3. Like if you look at Frozen Throne, everything past Frozen Throne has been consistent. They will take a small eternity making every game, and that game will have some weird decisions made from on top about stuff. Aside from World of Warcraft, I see that as like the initial release and how that was handled. Very pure product, whatever. But I just don't understand these people who are like, when are they going to make a game? I'm like, they were the first people to stop making shit. Like, if you want to break this down.
Valve came right around the corner like, wait, we don't need to make stuff either.
Right?
Yeah.
That is exactly what it is.
I do feel like at a certain point Gabe Newell went, but because like it's Alfred Hitchcock. It's like you set up a bomb, you get 15 seconds of excitement. You tell them a bomb's going to go off in an hour and a half and never set it off. You get an hour and a half of excitement.
Yep.
Gabe Newell's like, if I just never make Half-Life 3, they'll keep turning on Steam to see if I did.
Wow.
Which, I have a theory. You've been to the Black Garden in Destiny.
Yes.
When you go out and there's that huge expansive vista, and off in the distance, there's this rock formation of a certain color and a certain shape. It's a black mesa, let's be honest. I think Bungie's making Half-Life 3.
Wouldn't that be fabulous?
Bungie just puts it out, and their lawyers are like, "What the fuck did you do? Why didn't you ask us about this?" Somebody had to do it, man.
I mean, come on. Don't be dicks. Nothing's wrong with this game we made, you asshole.
Don't be dicks. The lawyer's like, "What do you think Gabe Newell's gonna say?" Gabe Newell calls up, "Come on, guys, don't be dicks."
What? Dude, we would have the funniest show on the internet if it was a weekly animated thing about gaming executives. And for some reason, they all use the phrase, don't be dicks.
Those guys are dicks.
Fucking say, come on, bring it over. Don't be dicks. Speaking of which,
Then go to the Sega executive.
Don't be a dick.
There just isn't a Sega executive because
Right.
there isn't.
yeah.
There's
There's that one guy
There's
who
like
makes
two
Yakuza.
guys in suits, and they're always like, "No, he's here. He's taking a phone call in the other room. He'll be
Very
right
busy.
out."
It's very busy. What was it? Yeah, in the grand scheme of this whole like Steam, Valve, and Blizzard thing of not making games, Sega total fucking tool bag impersonators in all of this. I will have you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we're gonna not make games in the United States, so there. And it's like but they make money because they have
They really
an
do.
MMO that makes a lot of money in a marketplace. We do too. You have neither of those. You have an MMO. It isn't WoW, and it will never be WoW.
Yeah. They sort of just, like, the World of Warcraft came out, and they're like, all right, we're going to put a time lock for, like, the next 10 years. No one's going to make an MMO. And then everyone's like, fuck you, Blizzard. And they made MMOs. And Blizzard's like, we tried to warn you.
We tried. We do you think the guy who made Minecraft was like... No, It's basically the Minecraft thing. Like, nobody wants Minecraft-like things as much as they want Minecraft on the same order of magnitude, even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all these people coming out making other MMOs, it's like, no, dude, we're not being dicks when we tell you that's not a good idea. Like, we're not scared of you. Do you understand that?
It's our executives being like, oh, this makes a lot of money. You do this and we'll make a lot of money. I'm like, come on, man. That's fucking retarded. Hey, don't be dicks. Just make the game.
Damn it. He said, don't be dicks. Now we have to do it. Or we're being dicks. That's how this works. What was it?
That's how they got through the entire development of Guild Wars 1.
Correct.
Yep.
I think it was Gersman over the Giant Bomb after announcing the Mojang, Microsoft buying Mojang thing. He's like, so Microsoft basically bought Minecraft and Scrolls for $2.5 billion. And he pauses for a moment. He's like, how much do you think they can get for Terraria?
Nice.
Yeah, it's just funny. So, Pier Solar, do you guys know about that?
Yeah.
It's a Genesis RPG made in like 2009, 2010, on cartridge and everything.
Oh, those kind of people. Rockin'.
Yeah, those guys are the most metal motherfuckers.
Right?
I love it. But yeah, apparently Pier Solar HD is going to come out on the PS3, PS4, and Steam.
Oh, wow.
Next week.
I get to play a bespoke Genesis RPG on my PS4.
Yeah.
I was really worried this was just going to be PC, and I'd be like,
I think my dick might fall off.
Yeah. At very least, you'll get a Rusty Venture.
Oh,
But
Fallen Ultra.
so yeah, I'm super psyched. I actually played the demo of it because they gave out a ROM that was a demo. It was pretty nice from what I played. I really wanted to buy the game, but it was expensive because it's on a cartridge.
Yeah.
Right. What's the battle system like? Is it
It's been too long now.
Okay,
But
yeah.
yeah, it is turn-based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember if you see your characters or if you
You
just...
do.
Okay,
You do.
cool.
It's Bob's a hater. He doesn't like that first-person stuff.
Yeah. When I tried to go back to older games, I was like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah, I'm like, I love Earthbound as a concept. Oh no, what are you doing?
Like Phantasy Star. I've heard good things about that. I'm going to go play Phantasy Star 1.
I feel like Earthbound and Phantasy Star 3 really do a good job of capitalizing on the first-person perspective. Earthbound, for example, they had a person in their employ. His whole job was making visualizer backgrounds. That's all he did for that game, and he had like several dozen. With Phantasy Star 3, they have super crazy parallax and then, crazy music and stuff. And I think those justify it, but I do totally understand not liking that.
I still remember seeing a Phantasy Star where the background and the like
that
the
was
ground and the sky are both moving crazy
in Japan,
fast.
Phantasy Star 3 has parallax on both the sky and the ground. So the grass and shit is just flying sideways underneath you and the enemies in a way that makes no sense whatsoever.
Like
That's what I'm
have to be
talking about.
battling on the run at that point.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
fucking
always
anime.
that scene.
So Titanfall has DLC. It comes out tomorrow?
They've had a DLC pack already, so this is the second one, I guess.
Yeah, it's just this late, huh?
Is it boats?
I mean, this isn't really that late for a.
For a game that was
a
a
shooter.
commercial failure?
I mean,
Is it
It's not
boats.
boats.
And was it a commercial failure?
Yeah.
I'd
Hell
never
yeah.
heard the end on that one.
Titanfall did pretty miserably.
well,
Damn.
I heard it did all right, just nowhere near what they wanted.
I mean, it
because
was
they
kind of
wanted insane
boat
insane
anchored to the
stuff.
Xbox One.
Well, it was on 360. It sold
Oh, yeah.
the most
Oh,
copies
yeah, I
by a
forgot about the
landslide on
360 version.
360.
I
But
keep
yeah, I
forgetting
don't-
the last gen still exists.
I feel like at this point, there's really, especially post Destiny, like all the people who had Titanfall on the 360 are probably playing Destiny on the 360. Like if they haven't jumped to next gen. I mean, yeah, Titanfall.
Destiny apparently requires a 20 gig install on the 360, which is crazy for the 360,
Yeah, because the original model only has 20 gigs,
right?
which really
That's what I
is
thought
like
about is my
17.
PS3. I'm sorry, there's no room left for the OS. I don't need the OS. It's Destiny.
It is your destiny. We already talked about the Queen's Wrath. We haven't talked about Oculus Connect, which was a little conference convention thing for Oculus developers to come by and do Q&A with Michael Abrash, John Carmack, Palmer Luckey. Just talk about like the
Why don't you make
development
rockets anymore? Come on, guys, don't be dicks.
Okay. And of course, it was Gabe Newell. Why don't we make rockets anymore?
Gabe stopped coming to QuakeCon or any of the events I did.
Funny, he actually wasn't allowed back at QuakeCon this year because he's no longer a part of Bethesda.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah,
Gabe Newell? What did Gabe Newell do at QuakeCon?
That is a funnier story.
Yes. He took a dump in the sink. Anyway.
He double parked his wheelchair. But no, yeah. So the cool things to come out of this, people got to try the Gear VR, which I believe we noted here before is a Samsung Note 4 stuck in a head-mounted, really just a head mount.
Right.
Like it mounts it on your head. And so people got to try that out while,
I assume
Carmack's
it's not
on stage.
literally the phone in front of your face.
Actually.
Really?
Kinda.
Like they don't alter
it's
the
got an
distance?
apparatus around it.
They don't
to
like
focus
alter
it.
the display at all? It's just the phone screen?
An Oculus Rift Dev Kit 2 is a Samsung Note 2's screen ripped out.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how that partnership came about.
But I mean, it's like two different
I mean,
phone because
no.
it's
No, it's
you're
just
looking
turned
at a small
sideways.
rectangle.
I mean, they use
Is there a
the
divider?
optics.
Okay.
I mean, the weird thing, that's basically what all of these are. They're
Right.
individual displays per eye. It's always a phone screen that most of your image is actually black pixels. If you were to take out the display, it would be mostly black pixels, and then the center area that gets stretched to your whole perspective
Right.
is rendered. Yeah. But yeah, with the Gear VR, they talk about like what they wanted to do with that, why Carmack has been working on it this whole time, and how they got benefits on normal Oculus from this project. Because what they found out very early on is they can't run 60 frames per second mobile games in VR. Android is too much of a piece of shit for them to do that, and what would be necessary to stop that is intense. Like, it would involve a lot. So they did this thing. It's a technique that's being backported to the normal version of Oculus, and it's called image time warp. So what it does is it takes that last image it rendered. Say you drop a frame at 60 frames per second, so 2 frames ago or whatever. It takes that and it does a calculation where your head has moved this much, and it'll very quickly warp that to make it look like you moved your head properly within that frame. And this is actually a really convincing technique. And since they get to backport that to PC, that means the PC experience is going to be better because not a whole lot of people have the hardware necessary to run. They said it was something like 6 times as hard running the same game on the consumer version of the Oculus Rift is what they're looking at, because it's you're doing 2 passes. You have to render 90 times a second because the consumer version is going to be 90 hertz, and then it's this really high res. You're going to need some beastly GPUs. Speaking of which, right before this, NVIDIA announced that they figured out how they were going to work SLI into working with the Oculus Rift. See, normally what happens with SLI is they set up the 2 video cards to render different frames. So all the even frames are one video card, all the odd frames are another. There's too much latency for that technique to work with head-mounted displays. So what they do then is they actually worked in a lot of tech to make it so each one would render one eye.
Yeah.
Which is fucking awesome.
That is, it's so simplistic. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised it worked out. Like, NVIDIA, really cool. That's
Oh God! But
grappling with that.
you imagine the tech help forums. They're like, "Hey, I'm having this juddering problem with this. I'm running fucking this video card on my left eye and this video card on my right eye.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? Why do you have this video card? Look, fuck you, you rich ass master race bastard.
I can't afford 2 of the top
My
line.
old card, my new card, and my left eye doesn't see as well, so I figure.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. All of that. Oh God. But yeah, they talk about stuff on stage. It was pretty interesting, pretty funny. One of the things they did with the latest prototype called Crescent Bay, it has headphones now. And they actually made an acquisition or a partnership, I forget which, to get 3D audio tech built into the Oculus, just like Sony's doing for the Morpheus.
Nice.
So yeah, they have these ghetto little headphones.
Those super 90s headphones.
Yeah, those cheap fucking piece of shit early 2000 PC headphones where it's like, I have headphones. Isn't that good enough?
Gonna plug my quarter-inch jack into the front of my PC. Headphones away.
And then keep my head low. It's just a short cable. I did that once. Mm-hmm. I haven't done that in so long because those things... That cable on my headphones...
It's disgusting.
It's
oh my
fucking
God.
huge. So don't be dicks, guys. But in any case... Yeah, it was an interesting talk. If you look it up on YouTube, you can find some stuff from that. It's called Oculus Connect. So if you just look up Oculus Connect, you can get some stuff out of that.
And Connect properly, not like Microsoft does.
Right, I kept waiting to hear about, like, oh, it works with the Kinect now.
And the last thing to come out of this is they talked about some things, stats that I found really interesting. There, for example, the marketplace for Oculus already has 350 game things on it. So that sounds like a saturated market and it hasn't even launched, which is pretty impressive. They said 90 to 95%, I think it was 95%, of all the games they had a recent Oculus Game Jam were made in Unity. Which Unity isn't a top-of-the-line engine. It is just a very accessible engine that's very configurable.
Right.
They noted they're working really closely with Unreal Engine 4 to integrate like all these things that would play very well into VR and stuff like that. And pretty much every talked about major demo for the Oculus Rift has been made in Unreal Engine 4. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting that there's just this large thrush of games that don't run as well as they need to for this, and then there will be that select few AAA on VR that's Unreal Engine 4.
So Tekken 7 VR. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, Namco did do that Morpheus thing.
They did.
Maybe that's how they're working out the kinks with Unreal Engine 4. They're like, gotta get that schoolgirl or whatever. Was she a schoolgirl?
Maybe.
She had a scato.
Did you...
Oh God, that bedroom thing.
Yes, where
Yeah.
you just hang out with
Yeah.
the
Or you
Japanese
sit
woman.
you sit on a bed and you just look at the person.
And you make sure not to look at her boobs too much. I hear she gets mad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. So Final Fantasy 15. They showed off some of that at their Tokyo Game Show.
They
Final
did.
Fantasy 15. 8 years later, new name, 50% done.
Yeah, well, that's because they just weren't working.
60% done.
Oh.
That's completely
That means
different.
something.
So, some interesting things that have come out of this. It has a very, very simple combat system, in case you guys haven't heard.
I
Yeah.
heard there's hold button to attack, hold button to block.
Yeah, it is kind of that level of, like, you have one button operating your attacks, another button operating your guards, and I
Yeah,
believe another one for that blink technique where he throws the sword.
Right, and then you have another one for doing your magic, like your fire and stuff. And you can rarely switch weapons. Is that how you form combos? So I'm
Yeah, he
interested
was
in
doing a
trying
lot
it.
of that in the demo.
And then some way to link with your partners and do some combo attack with them.
Do your Trinity attack.
Yes, your Trinity attack. Some people are comparing some of the moves they pulled were very similar to Chrono Trigger.
I think they mean the bouncer.
Not really. They were not at all like bouncer moves.
I usually assume when anyone talks about Chrono Trigger that they mean the bouncer.
Yeah.
It has served me well.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bouncer is one of the best RPGs ever made for the Super NES. True fact.
Absolutely. So, this whole road trip thing.
And right, let's talk about that. They said that this RPG, this game, they want it to be a sort of road trip vibe, and they very clearly show that when the 5 handsome Japanese men are in this very nice car driving across the countryside and seeing a giant monster, and they're like, "Oh, Suge!" and shit like that.
Right, and I'm totally, like, that'd be a cool Final Fantasy. Fucking Final Fantasy road trip. I'm down for that story.
Yeah, that sounds really cool to me, too.
But when I saw it, my only thought is, oh God, they're not even fucking around with this corridor anymore. You stay on the highway.
you can drive the car yourself, too, they've shown.
On the highway.
We'll see.
They keep saying you can drive the car yourself. I've learned to not trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I went to
just
fucking Six Flags. You could drive this car. What's this big metal rail on the road? Nothing.
They apparently showed him off-roading a little bit. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
Again, if it's fun,
At this point in Final
yeah, I
Fantasy, it's a wait and see.
yeah.
Because this one started early enough. Maybe.
I think this game holds value, even if it's not the greatest. Like,
Yeah,
just because
it's interesting.
You look at Final Fantasy 15, and that is something that has not been done in games.
Yeah, a road trip of handsome Japanese guys, or
versus giant mythological style creatures that are wreaking havoc.
Remember
on
when he said
a
versus
super
13
modern
when
city.
they were talking about, they're like, we like Sword and Sorcery Fantasy is not all Final Fantasy can do. We want to show the other kind of stories we can tell, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. Do that. We're making like 13 games. God damn it.
Yeah, the 13 as a universe really needs to just stop happening.
Mm-hmm. And I think it has. I think nail.
I think if we can crash it into X2,
the whole series,
we may get it to just collapse in on itself.
Now, as we just discussed, they're fucking gorgeous men.
Right.
Like, they're all just ridiculously their models. Mm-hmm. Bob, you read somewhere that someone was angry that there were no females in the main cast.
Yes.
By someone's some
on message boards and whatnot.
How is it horrible if Dead or Alive has an all-female cast that are sexy, but this is terrible representation of... Like, it is blowing my mind here. Like, Bob told me this, and I looked at him, I'm like... Do they think the beautiful Japanese men are for us?
They might be.
They aren't for me. No.
What's the matter? You didn't... Damn it, I can never remember the rest of the anime's title. It's something free.
Oh,
Iwatobi Swim Club.
Okay. Free. Because I keep just saying free, and everyone's like, what? I'm like, the one with the swimmers, the shirtless guys.
Heartless Men, good joke.
Here we go.
You just smash it down, trying to get that across, so that way it gets there in time to save it. And then they're like, ho! Ripped high school boys.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so, beautiful men.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there is a token female, I think, somewhere in the story.
Well, yeah, no, there are women in the story that have been very upfront about that, but the playable characters are all those guys.
Right. And the chick's just sitting there all blonde and I'm an object. I'm like, damn it.
I don't know. I feel after 13, I'm willing to take that.
Yeah.
I hear that she might even be the villain.
Nice.
I could see that.
Yeah, maybe some sort of Final Fantasy VIII vibe to it.
But see, that plays into another trope because she's clearly the love interest, but if she's evil, then that makes her the evil sorceress sort of stereotype, and we can't win. Do you not realize we can't?
Women can't be in video games, but they have to be.
Yes.
Okay.
That is...
Damn it.
If you look at the outline of the episodes of Feminist Frequency, that is correct. Because everything is a stereotype.
Anyway... Whatever, we're playing as like a group of stereotypical like pretty boys. Like this is
that is male representation. You associate with the beautiful gelled hair of a prepubescent Japanese male.
That is the cast of Hakuoki brought into a
Aggro. No, you don't.
I honestly
look, man. I can't help the way media has shaped my perceptions. All right, I was trained to associate with these types of characters, and they set an unreasonable standard of body image for me that has been damaging emotionally. I'm sorry, I know a lot of women legitimately struggle with that, but as a guy, I'm super wired to that not being a problem.
I actually kind of do have that issue. But in any case, not getting into Dan problems. Yeah, no. Let's talk about something else.
But yeah, I don't know. I honestly really like the character designs. Like mainly the main character. The other guys.
What do you like about them?
I don't know. He's cool. He's just.
They're cool.
Yeah, he's Sasuke.
You think he's pretty sugoi?
Yeah, you get like the prince, who I don't know. Fuck him. He's the prince. Nobody cares. Then you've got like the super Japanese baritone badass, and
right. He's got his abs showing.
You got like
right?
the other two fuck ups, Waka and Who Gives a Shit. That's a recipe. I sound flip, but that's a recipe for greatness in my book.
I mean,
it's just all them having a crazy road trip. That'd be kind of funny.
Right?
I don't know. Is the Seth Rogen like we're talking about yesterday?
Exactly. Halfway through, you realize, wait a minute. Wait, have I been playing The Hangover for the last 3 hours?
I think the part of this, the reason why I'm not super attached to this idea, and what I think more people need to consider for, like put up for legitimate, deep consideration. In Japanese, it will be contextually sound the way they're acting and emoting. But when you stick Seth Rogen in the voice of it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad in that way 10 did.
It seems like these are a lot of characters that these archetypes are some of the ones that don't translate well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't have them. So it's just weird when they do it.
That's what my sort of concern is here, because I don't have a problem with a road trip movie. I don't have a problem with an all-Japanese male cast. I don't have a problem with gorgeous people. I play
With that
Castlevania.
dude, I have to play this in Japanese. With that baritone guy. That Japanese low end, I love that shit.
Yeah.
When I was watching Fate Zero, fucking 3 of the characters are like that. I'm like, yes! Well, my roommate Ro is watching it after me, and she's got it in English. And I'm like, what the fuck
Have you
is
done?
that? Rewind it a bit, switch it to Japanese, and see what you've been missing. What it. Oh.
You associate very strongly with hot Japanese men.
Look, Christopher Savage will try, and he'll probably
That
fail.
girl you were with.
I really think our Patrick Seitz is like the
Oh
closest
yes,
we
Patrick
get to that.
Seitz. He would be great. I don't know.
Yeah, just fucking stick Dogi's voice actor as one of those
I
dudes
think if
and
we just
everything's
train
good.
John Goodman a bit, he can pull it off.
Remember when John Goodman was in Rage?
I do. That was weird.
That was a great 10 minutes.
Right?
That was fucking awesome.
Why was Rage? Why was Rage?
Rage was almost.
Because
Right, it
Rage,
was so close.
Okay, so here's what Rage is. Rage is kind of falling into the same traps Destiny does, of envisioning what the future of games is and trying to capitalize on it, but then it collapses under its own weight, and the content seems weird and jarring to a lot of people. Mm-hmm. That is
Right.
why Rage was, because they were like, a lot of people with id Tech 5 want, like, this larger world thing and vehicle, so we have all that, and then we have good feeling shooter, and then they were like, how do we make all this a game? And they technically made a game, but
Well, you
technically
have the
they
big
also
open
made a
world,
lot of things.
and then you go to the corridors to do the shooting.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird creature, and honestly, I really enjoy how it feels.
yeah.
Yeah, it's got a great feel
It was
to
that
gunplay.
whole game was just fucking
I
almost.
feel like an
great parts.
asshole because just like with Destiny, I'm sitting here with, and once again, I need to stress, I am not a huge shooter fan. I didn't buy a shooter like for fucking 4 or 5 years there because like it was like Modern Warfare 2, and then that was the peak in my opinion. Like, I feel like Rage and Destiny would both be, he's gonna kill me, better if they were just traditional shooters. If they were traditional campaign, traditional multiplayer.
Who
It
knows,
would
they might have
probably
been,
do
yeah.
a better service to, or do a better job of serving their fan base than what they ended up being. Even though, you know, that texture streaming is really cool. Like, that big world shit is really fucking awesome in Rage. But I honestly, recently, I was like, oh, I want to go back and play Rage. Because it felt good. Whatever.
Fucking, what did you have? A boomerang or a.
Yeah, it was this weird 3-part boomerang.
Oh, you had a fucking glaive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ran out of bullets in the arena battle section, and I'm like fucking killing everything with that glaive. Like, this is the best game ever.
So, real quick, do you think Dark Sector, if the publisher didn't step in and fuck it up, would have been Destiny?
Huh, I forgot that it was at some point very much like that.
I mean, it was Warframe.
Yeah.
It was like a AAA Warframe, but with that huge online thing in those systems.
Wow.
I think that would have been Destiny before Destiny was, if the publisher had any confidence in that idea.
Damn.
I have to, like, I should hunt down the person who made, like, those games, like the biggest guy in charge, and go
Just
after
show up with a box of Destiny. Is this what you meant?
Is this your game? And I just drew, like, the dude from or Warframe on top of it.
Like, just fucking glaive sticker. Coincidence?
I think not. Motherfucker, what are you going to say?
I was just gonna say that they're also talking about giving away that demo with the Type 0 Final Fantasy for Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Back a few topics back.
Type 0 HD coming out early next year. March?
Yeah, March.
February? Yeah, March. And it comes with a demo for Type 0.
Yeah.
Or a code for a demo with a code for a demo of Final Fantasy 15. So we don't know that the demo will be available at the same time, but we know that it comes with that code.
Right.
You think 15 will come with a reversible cover that says Versus 13?
That'd be pretty funny.
You fucking genius.
They
We should
know.
talk to them about that. No, really, we should start a petition. That would be great.
Yeah, it would.
Too bad we aren't fuckers at IGN. Now, that isn't to say everyone at IGN is a fucker, but there are fuckers at IGN.
Yeah.
They get shit done. They go and harass Shuhei Yoshida.
Call Square to be like, we want this reversible cover. They're like, fucking Americans, why would we just do this for you? Fuck you. Dragon Warrior was awful. Come on, guys. Don't be dicks.
That was like 25 years ago or some shit.
And you're also still angry because we didn't bring you the new ones. What's going on?
Why are you angry? We don't understand this.
We're like, Square Enix, we want this reversible cover. Square Enix is like, we don't know why you guys keep buying Final Fantasy instead of Dragon Warrior. That is just confusing as shit.
Confusing as shit.
We've been making them weird and terrible on purpose for a while, just to see if you'll stop.
Did we ever talk about Dragon Quest Heroes on here?
Nope.
No. Go ahead.
Looks pretty cool.
Good job.
Yep.
You did it.
Done.
So Square Enix announced Shinra Technologies.
Yes.
No.
No?
Apparently, Shinra Technologies is a cloud streaming solution that will free developers from the shackles of traditional game development. No longer will we or they be imprisoned by the constraints of selling and playing games on a disc or via downloading for a traditional high-cost console.
Okay, this is weird, because on the one hand, this seems to have nothing to do with Mako production or stealing the planet from Mother. On the other hand, this does sound as vague and evil as any of Shinra Corporation's plans.
Yeah.
It's like they know.
So, like...
Did they look at the American game industry and go, man, those guys are doing well, we need to see what they're doing? But then they looked at all of Microsoft's horse shit with their Magic Cloud and went, let's do that. That'll take zero effort.
The problem is in business for the last 4 years, 5 years, maybe even 7 years, people have not shut the fuck up about the cloud and how it will solve everything. So Sony does the cloud and they understand its place. Like, it's a rental service, and eventually the price will be low enough where it'll be really compelling. Potentially. And really profitable. Margins-wise. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Problem here is Japan sees this and they're like, there, that's the solution. We'll do that as a game publisher and just get our games in the cloud, and then they'll play it on their phones? I don't... Because the games they already announced aren't things you can play on a phone. It's like Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's stuff like that where it's just like, do you have a vision with this? Because if you're launching a cloud streaming service and you just plan on offering, say, I don't know, new experiences like an MMO space that could be done via the cloud so you could play it on multiple different devices, that makes perfect fucking sense. That is gorgeous, and I wait for Sony to announce a thing like that. Because they could. Mm-hmm. You aren't announcing that. You're announcing games that already came out, but now streamable to people who don't care. All because the Japanese console market is dying.
I mean, Dan, it's kind of brilliant. People who don't care is an untapped market.
Yeah, and untappable. Much like that chick who's a 10 while you're 3. You aren't going to get to tap that.
But Dan, perseverance and my clear heart will, my bravery and friendship.
If you're just a good guy, it'll eventually work out for you as long as you don't get friend-zoned. Yeah, the Japanese market really friend-zones Square Enix's console development.
I'd like to take a brief aside. Maybe Princess Peach isn't dating Luigi because she doesn't want to fucking date Luigi.
Well,
God damn it.
There is someone who was basically designed for Luigi. I forget who it was. Like some female counterpart to him. No, I don't think it was Daisy, but maybe it was. I thought there was some third character. It wasn't Rosalina either that they just don't talk about. We're just like, oh yeah, they were dating. And I'm like... Remember in Super Mario 64 DS where you got to play as Wario?
No.
That's probably good.
I see him on the case.
And you go, ha ha! No, wait, you're the Crucible. You're Shax. You're like, ha ha, Guardian. Oh, Wario. What will they think of next? Mario 64 is no place for Mario Guardians.
Guardians, can you hear me? Yeah, Shax, I'm busy. What? I have made a sandwich with no pickles. My sandwich is no place for pickles, Guardian.
Guardians, I'm sleepy. Tuck me in. Guardians, this podcast is really long. Finish it.
Finish the fight, Guardians. No pickles.